Okay, so here we are in this very beautiful house, and you were telling me that Charles John was here when he was 3?
Yes, we are at a place that is called Rånnum. It was one of the biggest farms around Vänersborg, a house built in the end of the 18th century. And when Lloyd came from Värmland around 1831, this house was empty. And a friend of him owned it, and he had opportunity to rent this house. So he moved in here. The house, he said, was quite big, about 10 rooms it had, and a beautiful, beautiful nature around it, and of course very close to Göta River. It runs just behind the house there, and that's the reason why he moved here, because he wanted to fish salmon in the river here. And Charles John Andersson was then about 4 years old when he came here. So this was the first years of his visit in Vänersborg. It was spent in this house.
And did he live here permanently with his father from then, or
yes,
did he go back?
We don't know so much about where they lived, because we think that he came. He has written in his books that he was here at Rånnum when he was a child, and we know very little of how long time he stayed here, if he revisited her mother and so on. So we don't know exactly so much about that.
He was very little.
He was very little, but he was living here with his father, and he has stories from Rånnum, because Lloyd was a hunter, of course, but he also kept wild animals in captivity here. Here at Rånnum, he kept, for example, wolves. He was trying to learn them to act like hunting dogs for him. Wow. It was not so easy.
Were they Swedish wolves?
Yes, Swedish. He caught them in the forest around here, like when they were puppies. Yes, wow. But they were more interesting in the neighbors' pigs and so on than to.
Oh, I'm sure that was a failure.
Yeah, it was a total failure. And he also tried to tame some elks or moose here around, and birds. Birds. He had bears. Yes, also.
Bears as well.
Yes, 2 of them he had. That was semi-tame.
What an extraordinary childhood.
It was an extraordinary childhood. It was.
Yeah. But I think it's also quite interesting that Llewellyn Lloyd wrote books.
Yes.
Which that activity must have inspired Charles John later on.
Of course, yes.
And that the books describe. Was it the Scandinavian Adventures?
In Scandinavian Adventures, there's a description of this place of Rånnum when he comes here. It describes the house. It was empty. There was not so much furniture here, so he bought furniture from carpenters in the area. It was quite cheap to buy furniture in Sweden, he said, compared to London.
Yes. And you were saying we're sitting now in the oldest part of this house, because the complex now is very big. And that in this room in particular, there's a beautiful old fireplace, which would have been here at the same time. Yeah,
must have been at the same time. Yeah. A lot of this house, even if you're in the old part of the house, it has been rebuilt and restored and renovated. Yeah. But those fireplaces that we see here, they are old and must have been here during that time in the 1830s.
There is something special about objects and living things that were around when the people that you're researching or trying to trace their footsteps.
Yes.
There's something special about those objects. I don't know why.
Yeah, yes.
But it's like kind of amazing. His little hand must have touched this spot.
During the cold winter evenings, he was sitting here, and
it brings you closer to them somehow.
Yeah, it does. Yes,
of this
really.
material.
Yes.
This history that's actually still here, that's tangible.
It is. Yes, you are very close to those persons. Then.
Yeah,
yes,
you are. Very interesting.
Yes.